Thank you, Ine. Thank you very much. Thank you. And sorry, yes, for the disruption. But please, many seats are still available around us. Please don't hesitate to take your seat. In a few minutes, we will host and we'll welcome His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Korea. Coming in a few minutes. But as Hetne said extremely well, at FII Institute, we try to be not just hosting conferences, but we publish reports, and more importantly, we do a lot of call to actions and we launch initiatives. So today, as you know, the global landscape is shifting tremendously, affecting the priorities and needs of people around the world. As His Excellency Yasser Humayun said this morning, our main mandate is to impact humanity through initiatives, but also to listen to the priorities. So this is why the trends like the advancement of AI, the need for a more inclusive economy and ethical consideration on how to address emerging challenges are making the mission of FII Institute more relevant than ever. So for the first time, we are launching now resolutions. We don't just want to come with ideas to create debates. We want to build on our convening power and reveal 3 resolutions. And these resolutions will need you. You, our members, you, our partners, you, our guests, very important, resolutions that will have an impact on our collective future, focused on AI, inclusive ESG, and humanity's most pressing priorities. The resolutions are literally calls to action, to work. For me personally, it's probably the most important of what we'll be delivering this year at FII, the resolution. We want this call to action to be more inclusive and for our sustainable future. So it's my great pleasure to welcome on stage the board members who are the godfathers of this resolution, because nothing could have been done without them, with the great support of our board. So it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome on stage 2 very dear friends, His Excellency Mohamed Alabbar, the founder and chairman of Emaar Property. Please, a round of applause for His Excellency. And my very dear friend, who for the first time were able to make it, because we always compete with your own conferences, my dear friend, Peter Diamandis, the founder and executive chairman of the very famous XPRIZE Foundation. And of course, they will be in conversation with Rakan Tarabzoni, the Chief Operating Officer of the FII Institute.
Thank you,
Rakan,
Richard. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, as Richard mentioned, we created the FII Priority Compass, which is a global survey covering over 23 countries, inclusive of all continents, all over the world, with around representation of almost 60% of population, to make sure we are as inclusive as possible. This is the second edition of the survey, and this year the results are very interesting. Number 1's priority, and I don't want to make much of your time, the survey will be available on the app and on the website. There's an increase of 30% of concerns of cost of living and quality of life versus last year, which is probably not surprising to all of us. There's also a 55% increase of world's population highlighting social inclusion. What does that mean? That being the second most priority item for humanity this year, it's highlighting identity, human connection, and the reliable internet challenges that mankind challenges. And today's internet is an important element that connects us all together beyond just the social or leisure connection, but more of work, education, and more of a lifeline nowadays. The survey also identified the third priority being climate change. It was the 7th last year, and this year it's the third, with almost 53% increase versus a year ago. So those 3 priorities tell us that there is a need to call to action. There's a FII Priority Resolution that we want to share with you. It will be on the screen, and we call to everybody to join us, that in one hand to help be having a better humanity for all of us. What does this mean? It means we have 3 priorities that we want to all gather to make them happen for a better humanity to all of us. From our side, the FII Institute, we have 3 roles. Number 1, think on humanity's priorities and show collective thought leadership to better understand the world's urgent needs, exchange on humanity's priorities to bring the world's leaders together to align on how to make the world a better place, And third, act on humanity's priorities to identify innovative solutions and locally lead those initiatives for investors to scale up and make all our lives a better place. With that being said, I'd like to introduce Dr. Pierre Diamandis to discuss the second resolution on AI. Dr. Pierre, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rakan. It was about 5 months ago, I called Richard Attias. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, there is something urgent we need to be speaking about at FII 7. Something that needs the world's attention. And there are very few locations on the planet that pull together the government leadership, the finance leadership, and the corporate leadership. And that is the massive transformation, the disruption, the reinvention that is coming as a result of AI. Not in 20 years, not in 10 years, it's within the next 5 years. And that is the purpose of the resolution we're going to be sharing with you. The speed of AI development is running at an astonishing rate. I think very few people really truly understand how fast this is happening. If we look at the numbers, what we're seeing is that the speed of computation, the amount of computation being dedicated to AI is accelerating. It's doubling every 6 months. And the speed of its acceleration is itself accelerating. The amount of labeled data is doubling every 2 years. What we're seeing is that the algorithms are improving at 99.5% cost effectiveness on a 5-year center. We're seeing 1,800% increases in capital expenditures by corporate, by VC, by all the funds investing massively into AI. And AI itself is programming AI. It's something that's never happened before. We're in the midst of an extraordinary transformation of humanity. And this acceleration is going to bring about unique opportunities for both investors and for our children, for our lives, for our nations. The AI market is projected to be about $2 trillion of increase by 2030. But for me, the most important thing is AI offers for the first time an ability to uplift every man, woman, and child on this planet, to demonetize and democratize access to food, water, energy, healthcare, education at a level never before thought of. It's about creating a true world of abundance. And it's about going from an information age to an age of knowledge. Imagine if each of us had all the knowledge accessible to ourselves in our pocket. So, the challenge is that there are global risks, right? With great power comes great responsibility. We urgently need to align on AI, and that's the call here for this resolution. You see, there's probably an 80% chance of an abundant future where AI is helping uplift everybody. But the 20% downside is what we have to protect against, not in 20 years or 10 years, in the next 5 years. We have a 5-year window, at most, to align ourselves on this vision of what we want. Many of the near-term global risks are known, right? They include the use of AI for misinformation, for cyber attacks, for political and financial disruption, for the creation of bioweapons. Patient zero may be the US elections next year. We'll find out. What happens when terrorism AI brings down a power plant or a Wall Street server? But we need to do scenario planning. The medium-term risks are from the impact of AI on societal structure, on jobs. We're about to see the arrival of artificial general intelligence. Ray Kurzweil predicted by 2029, we will have AI as intelligent as any human. Elon says it's 2028. Whatever it is, it's not your children's issue, it's our issue right now. And what happens next is not artificial general intelligence, but digital superintelligence. If misaligned with the needs of humanity, AGI could have serious existential risks. So, what does an AI resolution call for? And what can the FII Institute do to help? So there's a QR code up over here. I urge you all to take an image of it and to read it in full. But in a nutshell, the resolution calls on governments, AI companies and investors to urgently promote and act on AI alignment. So the resolution notably calls for governments, in particular, to work with the private sector to define prerequisites for the release of AI models and to establish training data sets that are safe and pro-alignment. How we train our AI models is everything. These AI models are our children. We're giving birth to a new species on this planet. How do you educate your children is so critically important. The latter, of course, is how data sets influence these generative AI models. It also calls for the establishment of a global and inclusive AI governance regime. This is urgently needed because global AI risks can only be addressed through global cooperation. For AI companies, the resolution calls for greater commitment of transparency and accountability. Companies should commit to AI alignment, creating alignment plans detailing the strategies and processes that will be implemented, and make this information public. They should also actively reduce AI risks by ensuring the security of state-of-the-art AI facilities and by adopting safety levels based upon the development of future AI models. And finally, for those of you in the investment community, which is probably most all of us here, we should commit to providing investments in only those companies who have committed to AI alignment as part of their policies going forward.
Thank you, Dr. Diamandis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I leave the floor to His Excellency Mohamed Alabbar.
Thank
Your
you so much.
Excellency, the floor is yours.
So much. Thank you, Peter. I think you have an exciting subject. I would like to take this opportunity to really thank all my colleagues on the board. These resolutions are so critical for all of us, if it's really AI or if it's many other targets that we are putting together. But for a person like me who've founded a large development company for the past 28 years, the challenge of sustainability, the challenge of housing for the middle income, the environment is something that's so close to everybody's heart, and I think that's taken. But the bigger challenge is that while we have to work on all these principles, the other big challenge for all of us, people of the East, I call ourselves people of the East, is that this is where the population base is, over 4.5 billion people. But we are not getting the fair share of investment into our part of the East. And I think that's a tremendous opportunity and a challenge as well, that we have to work hard at putting the right principles for encouraging investment into the East. Right now, we receive, I think, something like close to 4% of the world total investment on an annual basis, where we think that investment is going to push economic growth, create jobs, technology, knowledge. Therefore, I think this is a much, much bigger purpose, which is something that's really close. Investment to our region, create economic activities, bring hope, get more people to participate in the economic activity of our region. So I think that's really very critical for all of us to put the right tools, the right rules, the right governance, for all of us to really see the result of increased investment and increased economic activities for our part of the world. And I'm really privileged to work with my team at FII, and that will be a tremendous opportunity for us to get moving. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. And with that, we conclude our resolution section. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter.